So I could tell you that the Double Dutch Audio Wrangler from 17 frames is a new kind of mixer, a wave shaper, or distortion unit, or a frequency modulator, or a ducking device. It is sort of all of these things, but also not. It takes 3 wave inputs. The first 2, A and B, do their thing, and the third is then squeezed in between them. In CV form, the combination creates cool new modulation shapes. When this is applied to audio waves, well, strange things happen. Sometimes subtle, other times not so. To begin with, I'll set up a new 3-voice synth with the help of the combinator and a few subtractors. Firstly, I'll show you what they sound like dry. Okay, kind of like 3 synths being triggered at the same time. Now, listen to the double D do its basic thing. Cooler. Kind of draws them in together. In this basic mode, the C wave is hardly discernible, and yet the final result has more texture and body. In one of my favourite patches, LA Fly Over Long, if you isolate the C wave, it sounds quite strange and now tilted with the A and B. And yet within the folds of the 2 dominant waves, it produces a great performance. Now, rather than just leave it at that effect, I've added a bunch more features. For example, the matrix of knobs you see in the front. These mostly work like those on the CV Wrangler. They give you control over the signal that will affect the way they interact with the C signal. Scale, of course. More volume gives the C line more room to interact with. Now on the right to that, I've added something that is a little tricky to work with, but I feel important, and that is the offset controls. To understand the offset, let's look again at the CV Wrangler. See how it pushes the line middle position up or down. It can substantially change the way that the C line behaves. But beware, you are doing stuff to sound waves that you ordinarily don't want to do. You will notice pretty soon that it does some strange things to the volume levels, for example. For this reason, I've also added a fine split control of the A-B offsets. Turn it on here and you can more finely control the results without going too far into crazy town. But I do think the offset controls are worth it, and one of the reasons for that can be found to the left here, the A over B control. To better understand what this does, let's go back to the CV Wrangler. Essentially, the A over B control asks, is the A wave above the B wave? If so, then it does not use the C wave anymore. Instead, it will either stay with A, or stay with B, or split the difference. On the CV Wrangler, it creates alternating pulses of variation. In audio though, it does 2 really interesting things. Firstly, it gives the remaining C wave a kind of a raspy feel. This is because the wave is converted to a staccato form related to the interactions of the A and B waves. Secondly, it gives a significant accent to either the A or B inputs. At some levels, this is like a distortion or a saturation effect. The other big reason that the offset controls are included is because the device can be used as a ducking mechanism. So in the examples I've used so far, the C audio is often hidden between the crossover points of the A and the B. But watch what happens when you split the A-B offsets. That's right, it gives plenty of room for the C wave to exist. Kind of gives it priority really. The other 2 waves are pushed to either side of it, but are still a significant part of the mix. In practice, with actual audio inputs, we can push the vocals or the instrument solo of the mix right through the middle with the other track supporting it. But, like I said, this can all be a little tricky, and I've opted to give you options that can be difficult at times rather than cut them out completely. I'm I'm really excited to see what the Reason community can do with this new tool. Available soon from 17 Frames through the Reason Studio App Store.